Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. I'm called Taze Ransom, the host of the C Note, where we keep it 100 and the real recognize real. We also see you fake asses out there too, man. I'm here tonight for episode 15 with Mr. Green. He's coming in the room right now. Should be popping up on the screen any second. Definitely. All right, all right, all right. There he is, right there. He is, right there. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Can you
All
hear
right.
me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you very well.
Good, 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 good.
All right.
Well, this is my first time having an actual family member on here, folks. This is my cousin right here. I have a huge family. He and I have never actually met in person, but this is how we roll in this family. I literally have hundreds of cousins, and we met on a family page on Facebook, and he's a recording artist. Um, he's been a marketing professional and so forth, and he does some other things like truck driving, you know, a jack of all trades, so to speak. But we're here tonight to talk to you about your new project. What's the name of the project again? The album itself?
It's called Love Again.
Love Again.
Love
Love
Again.
Again.
And
And
single.
you have a single called Cuddle Moves, which is doing really well.
Right,
Doing
right.
really well. It's a great thing. I'm very happy for you and excited for you. I like it. It's definitely a good
Thank you.
song. Definitely a great song. Definitely. So this is your first. Is this your first solo project?
Well, actually, it actually is, and I was just telling a real close friend of mine today that is like this is actually like whether a lot of people know or not. Like most of my life, I actually was a rapper. You feel me? Like
Okay.
when I was like a little kid, my mother, when I was 13, she wrote us a rap. Me and
Mm-hmm.
my brothers, and she'd have us out performing, on the corner after we rehearsed the words that they wrote down so many times. We started learning the lyrics, and from like a teenager, I was a rapper, so I was, involved in hip hop. So, but from like a little kid, maybe like about 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, like I was really into the R&B, like Anita Baker, Michael Jackson, Sam
Mm-hmm.
Cooke, James Brown, and my mother used to be like, what would a kid, at that age be doing, listening and liking music that old, you know?
Well, that's that good stuff though. I mean, there's plenty of younger people. I know people in their 20s who love that old music because
Right,
today a lot of people sound alike today. Uh, they're all doing the same vocal riffs. They're all like following the same patterns. Everybody's trying to sound alike. Where back during that time period that you're talking about, that music came from, everybody had their own sound. You could tell. You could tell when Sam Cooke came on the radio. You could tell when Anita Baker. You know Anita Baker when you hear her. You
right,
know Michael Jackson when you hear him.
right,
So nowadays it's kind of hard to tell some of these people apart. I do believe you have a distinctive sound though. Yeah,
right, right.
definitely.
And that
Definitely.
and that and it actually came from, you know, um, the me being so involved as far as being a fan and listening to so much older music, and
Mhm.
that being like my foundation, and R&B was like my foundation before I was ever, even before I was, I was forced to become a rapper. My mother wrote me a rap. I started singing
Okay.
because I loved to sing. My mother, she actually found out that I knew how to sing because I recorded over one of her little tapes. Put it in
Hmm.
the thing. They had the tapes back in the day,
Hey.
and
Yeah.
I recorded over a tape singing Sam Cooke.
Uh-huh.
And
Which one? Which song by
uh,
Sam Cooke did you sing?
it's been a long time. Um,
A
I
Change
was,
Gonna Come?
yeah, change gonna come. So I recorded over
All
her
right,
tape,
all right, all right.
over her preaching tape, because my mother was
Mm-hmm.
in the ministry, so she was preaching, and I recorded over a tape singing Sam Cooke. So when she went to go listen to herself preaching and heard me singing Sam Cooke, she
Yeah.
started crying
Mm-hmm.
because she couldn't believe that she had a son that could sing that good at that age.
Right.
And so, like, singing has always been something that I loved to sing, but I just was so shy because of the neighborhoods that we grew up in. It was like rough in
Right.
Rochester, and people getting killed and drugs and shootouts and different things like that. So, I felt like singing was kind of like something that I didn't want to really do, because I wanted to, I was involved in the street life when I was a young kid. So,
Well, yeah, music and theater, music, singing is something that's always actually been a part of me. I started singing and acting when I was little in elementary school and stuff, singing on the school choir and all that. And I started writing songs and plays and stuff when I was like 10, 11 years old. So it's
right.
always been a part of me. But at the same time, I was also very shy. People would come over and they knew that I could sing and they were like, sing something, boy. And I'm like, don't look at me. I would tell
Right.
people not to look at me when I sing because it would make me very self-conscious. I would tell them not to look at me. That was funny. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, man, listen, when I tell you shy, whoo, man. Yeah, that was me. So, like, that's good to definitely, to know that because, we got a lot of talent in our family, and then we born talented, in our a lot of us in our family because going
Yeah.
back to our roots, not to even put that out, but we just have a deeply rooted spiritual family, singing family.
Mhm.
So and a talented family. So um,
Well, I know
that,
I found out, that your mom is a pastor. So did she have you singing in church?
yeah, my mom, she I think actually before we even got out to rapping, she actually had us
Mhm.
singing first and
Okay.
the choirs and stuff like that. And, that's where the shy thing came in because
Right.
I was real shy, and she used to have to like almost whoop me to make me get up and sing in front of the church. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So because she knew I could sing, so she'd try to make me get up and be the forefront,
Hmm.
but I was too shy to sing in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, but like yeah, my mother she started when once she found out, but I was singing before she knew I knew how to sing before. So
Hmm.
like I was actually born that way. Like I knew how to
Okay.
sing from a little kid, like because I was born to sing.
Well, I mean, yeah, you are right. There are a lot of people in this family that sing and that's into acting and everything. I mean, one of our cousins, I don't think you know him. He's in the family group, but I know him because he's from Baltimore, and I've known him all his life. He's a singer, an actor, and a dancer. Um, Eric Anthony, Eric B. Anthony. So he's very talented. He's been on Broadway and everything, and
Right.
he lives in Los Angeles right now. And then there's another cousin who I've never met. He's also a recording artist from the Hannah branch named Ty Hannah. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. But
I
Ty
believe
Hannah, huh? That
I believe maybe I have.
Yeah, Ty Hannah is a recording artist, and he had a song out. Was it last year or the end of 2019? Uh, called "You and I." It's not the old "You and I." This is the original version of "You and I" that he wrote. And he has some other songs out there too. And he has a page on Facebook for his music, Ty Hannah. Uh, and I know that there's other people in this family from that Hannah branch that are in the arts, definitely.
Right.
So um, we're definitely going to get into the topic of what's going on with your mother a little later because that's very important. So when you were coming up with the concept for your debut album, how did you come up with this? What steps did you take to come up with this layout for this particular project?
But pretty much like
Hey.
my whole thing was last year, like I said again, being
Mhm.
like in hip hop and immersed in hip hop and different things like that.
Hey, family. The
Um,
family coming in here. You know what I'm saying?
we had a lot of people that got a lot of violence that
Uh-huh.
was magnified, you know, to
Yeah.
a great level in hip hop, in which a lot of artists was shot and killed, and the new the new wave of music seems to be real violent, real violent and real aggressive. So, and my
Right.
motivation to be a leader, you know. you know, I just thought to go against the grain of hate
Mm-hmm.
and to promote some love. So
So
the
yeah,
album,
we definitely need to promote love in our community, in the Black community. Well, Black people tend to love on other people outside of us, whereas you know we get frustrated with the things that are thrown at us as a people, and we take that out on each other. But we go around and forgive everybody else that's not of our race. Um, so it's good to put some love vibes out there and so forth. Your first single off of the album is called Cuddle Move. Um, can you let us hear like a little snippet of that? Are you
okay.
prepared? Now I
Yeah.
told you that. Don't act like you.
Yeah.
I
You know
told you I
what?
was going to do that.
You sure did too. So yeah, I'm gonna get that ready real quick. Give me a
Okay.
second. YouTube, Cuddle Move, and because but yeah, the single is
Hey,
doing pretty
cousin
good.
Patricia. Yeah, I see.
Doing pretty good right now. So I'm gonna have to go
Yeah, we got some family in here.
to my other space.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got to
So you
go on
got a little fuzzy right there.
go on my other setup over here real quick. Excuse me. That's my little
Well,
studio
don't stay
booth.
there too long because you're a little fuzzy right now on the screen.
Oh, fuzzy.
Yeah, your face can't see you clearly. It's like, uh,
All right, give me a second.
can't,
I'm coming.
yeah,
I'm coming right back to you. Right.
it's not a good area. Hey, cuz, I can hear it a little. That's a nice groove. How you doing, cousin Pat? I hear it. So what inspired you to write this particular song? Y'all liking that groove out there? All right, all right.
Yeah, man. I actually I'm my bad because I know you had told me to be ready, but
Yeah,
I
I did. You didn't pay attention to that when I asked you to be prepared.
yeah, my bad.
Because
I
you also
was
supposed to play a little snippet of your next single, which you just shot a video for,
right,
right?
right. Yeah, now that one I actually I'll be able to do that one a little bit more
Not
speed.
right now, though. Don't do it
Okay.
right now, though. But I was asking you, how did you come up with the idea for this song? What inspired you to write Cuddle Move?
Well, really because of the time of the season that we was in. You know, you know,
Okay.
I
So just
wrote
the cold weather.
yeah, I wrote Cuddle Moves in December. I believe in December. I actually put the whole album together. I wrote the whole album in 4 weeks and recorded everything in 4 weeks, 16
Wow.
songs. And
16.
yep, 16.
16 songs?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
On the
Okay.
album, it's like on the album, I believe it's like 12 or 13, and then it's like I think 14, and then I got like 2 songs that I didn't put on the album that I'm saving.
Right.
But Cuddle Moves just was something for the for the lovers for the season.
Hmm.
You know.
Okay. But how cold does it get in Atlanta?
Well, it gets pretty cold, but it just don't stay cold for long.
Right, right, right. So y'all don't have like real serious winters. Like every once in a blue moon, something might happen, but other than that, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
pretty
every
chill.
once in a blue moon you might have a serious winter, but for the most part of it is it's all light and
Okay, so
nothing
uh,
compared to Baltimore or the Northeast.
okay. So with this particular album, I know it's something that you say is for the lovers, and it's a lot of sensuous type songs on here, suggestive type songs on here. So is this the formula that you're going to stick with, or you're going to move around with the concepts for albums, like maybe do something like a Sam Cooke song, not actually a Sam Cooke song, but something in that, neighborhood, or
Yeah. If eventually,
okay.
because like I want to create a lane and I want to stay in the lane. You see, Sam Cooke, he was in that lane, you
Mhm.
know, and but I'm not Sam Cooke, so I can't, take Sam Cooke lane. But my lane as Greg R&B is the love sensuous lane. So
Mhm.
whether I might get out of that lane, probably not, because most of my fans and people that like my music, that's what they're gonna like me for.
Okay.
And that's what's not in, that's what's lost out of music. So I try to put in my music what's
Mhm.
been lost from the music scene, and that's
I understand.
right. hmm So
I
like with
mean,
that, go ahead.
I try to do something different too. Like I said, I talked to you about this earlier on the phone, which I'm not going to give too many details about it, but I've been collaborating with someone as well, on 4 songs. Basically, I wrote the lyrics and all that. I came up with the concept for the songs. He did the music, and sent me the music tracks, and I came up with the songs and wrote the lyrics. He's a successful. He's becoming very notarized, with his music, and so we decided to collaborate together, where I'm singing and he's rapping, and we actually already recorded my vocals. Just have to get his rap part down or whatever, and hopefully that'll be out in like a couple of months. But with that, a couple of the songs on there, of course, have a conscious message to it, because I'm always about trying to empower the Black collective, um, and to get us to be proud of our Blackness. And then there's another song on there that has like a little love message to it as well. There's actually a couple of songs have a love message to it, just a regular love song. But 2 of the songs have like a conscious message to it. So I'm also about creating music that's not the same old. Because a lot of these songs nowadays don't really sing about love at all.
Right,
you
right.
know, it's just about hooking up and getting it in and see you later. Bye. I don't want to talk to you no more. That
Right.
kind of that kind of attitude. Um,
And
and
see, like
so
that's where like I want to definitely um I try to mix it up because I give it a little bit of love and then I take it a little bit to the bedroom also because
yeah,
it all go hand in hand,
right, hmm
love and love making.
right. Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree. Um, Definitely. So with the music, are there any other areas in um, the arts that you may want to pursue at some point?
Oh yeah.
Acting.
Yeah, I definitely fashion, like, we get into some fashion and
Like
get a
you
couple
want to
products.
model,
Nah, but I'm
designing,
like I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna come up with a couple like
or you're designing?
yeah, I'm gonna do some
Oh,
design, maybe some
okay, cool.
hats, maybe some shades, maybe some
Hmm.
But let's go. I
Right.
would do some get into that and
Mhm.
maybe some acting, um
Well,
maybe some. Mhm.
I'm gonna have to pull you up in one of my films one of these days. See what kind of acting skills you got, because I'm a filmmaker and an actor too.
Oh
So
yeah, I
I'll
done
help you
seen I done seen you in action, man. I'm gonna need a couple lessons, man. I'm gonna need a couple lessons.
out.
Man,
Well,
I looked at you. I said, man, hey, that was great acting skills, definitely.
I remember you commented on that video of me acting. I remember. I appreciate that, and I'll definitely help you.
Yeah,
I'll
for
coach
real.
you or whatever. Definitely, you're my blood, so that's
Right.
what's up. You know.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I appreciate that because I always, one of my dreams is, I could see myself in films and acting and stuff because I'm a pretty good
Mhm.
actor.
Yeah.
Naturally,
Well,
I can
well,
put on.
yeah. Well, with music videos, you have to do some acting anyway. When you shoot a music video for your songs,
Right,
that entails some acting.
right,
Uh, um, definitely want to talk some more about your music, but I want to get into something that definitely needs to be discussed. And I, of course, before I was going to bring this up, I ran it by you first to make sure it was okay with you. I wasn't just going to put it out there. But I recall you made a post in the family page in reference to your mother, who is a pastor, who took a stand. She was bold enough to take a stand and speak out against police brutality, which I and a lot of other black people have experienced. I've been through that myself. And she was bold enough to stand up and speak out. And because she was bold enough to speak out, they began to harass her and pursue her and, railroaded her. And she ended up in jail because of their shenanigans. So please tell the audience about that situation because you have all the details and everything and what your
right.
mother is dealing with right now.
Yeah, well, she's been currently been in prison for about 15 plus, going on 16 years.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
my mom, she was an activist, in Rochester, New York, where she started at her activism. My brother got killed. I had a brother, he was 18 years old. He got killed in the streets, and that's what really started her activism and marching against
Yeah.
nonviolence, against black on black crime.
Hmm.
Um, trying to march and get the local government to do things about guns in the area of Rochester, New York, because so many kids was losing their life and still losing their lives
Yeah.
um, to gun violence, and that was what started her off,
Hmm.
and then over off into different things, with us being a voice for the community and speaking out against
Yeah.
police brutality and
Hmm.
police harassment and different things like that. And due to the fact of her doing that, she became a target of the Rochester Police Department and somehow ended up involved in a domestic dispute that they turned into a whole big situation and without any evidence convicted her, you know, based upon just
Yeah.
really like we feel like a silence move. And she was given 15 years. She so far she's done 15, but she's saying something about maybe 16 or something. I don't know, but this will be her last year on that 15 years. But then while she was incarcerated, and they felt like she didn't have no legal, legal representation or no finances, they hit her with a murder charge and slapped 25 more years on her.
What? A murder charge from where?
From like 17 years, like something like from almost 17 years ago. They brought out of the woodworks and brought a guy who wanted for a get out of jail free card to just pretty much point the finger with no evidence. And
Well, we've seen how this government and the so-called law enforcement operate in a couple of films recently. I don't know if you saw Judas and the Black Messiah or not, but that film also that shows how the government will set you up as a black person, and they often will hire. Unfortunately, they will hire or persuade or blackmail or threaten another black person into helping them take down another black person. That's what happened to Fred Hampton. It's also what happened to Billie Holiday. All these years, we've been led to believe that Billie Holiday, who was from Baltimore, we've been led to believe that she died from a drug overdose. She did have a drug problem, but that's not what she died from. Essentially, the government, FBI, they murdered her, and they pursued her because they wanted her to stop singing this song "Strange Fruit." If you're familiar with that song, which is about lynching, the lynchings of our people, and they wanted her to stop singing that song because they felt like it was going to rile black people up. It was going to make black people want to stand up. So they demanded that she stop singing that song, and she refused to stop singing it. So that's why they pursued her and set her up in all types of crazy mess. So I know how they operate in this country. And your mom was a pastor of a church, right?
Yeah, she was a pastor at the time of her incarceration.
Okay, okay. And see, um, one thing is that I've noticed when you look back in history, like back decades and decades and decades ago, when you read about stuff in history, there used to be more black pastors who would stand up and speak out against the injustices against our people. Nowadays, you're kind of hard pressed to find a pastor who will really boldly speak out against what's going to happening to our people. A lot of these pastors nowadays will not speak out against the system, and maybe that's because of their that tax exempt status. They don't want to risk that, so they're not going to speak out because they don't want to jeopardize that. Um, and I commend your mother for being bold enough to stand up and speak out. Um, like you said, you lost a brother to police brutality. Um, I'm here to still talk about it, but I've dealt with police brutality myself, as I said. And it's something that did stick with me, and it was very traumatizing what I dealt with. Um, because people want to say you must have been doing something for it to happen. No, 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 no. There was nothing. I wasn't doing. In my case, I wasn't doing anything wrong at all. They just happened to actually target black males, um, and they have a quota that they want to fill. I have a friend who used to be a cop, and a brother who used to be a cop, and he stopped being a police officer because he said they was always trying to get him to unjustly arrest black people.
Terrible.
And so he was like, I'm not doing that. Just like there was this judge a few years ago in Kentucky, a black judge, and he stood up because they wanted him to unjustly sentence black people to long sentences for minor things or even when they were innocent. And he said, no, I'm not doing that. So what they did was they were like, basically, yeah, you might have that title of judge, but we're going to show you. We're going to show you. And so what
Right.
they did was they put him on 90-day suspension. They put him on 90-day suspension without pay because he spoke out and he stood up for his people, for black people. So even being a judge in this country doesn't really have a whole lot of power when you're black because when they over you, they're over you. And, that's why a lot of times I talk about how we need to have our own. We need to have our own judicial system. We need to have our own government where we're running things, where we're protecting our people, policing our own people. Um, we need to be free from this. That's what I'm about. I'm not sitting around, and I get accused of hating other races because of what I say, but integration has not been a good thing for black people. It just hasn't. That's when you look back at history, when you read history or hear history from older relatives, it has not been a good thing. And even Martin Luther King Jr. began to regret it when he said that I feared I led my people into a burning house. So you said your mother was due to get out this year or next year, and they came up with some bogus made up murder charge.
Yeah, they came up with it and they convicted her of it with no evidence against her. But we right now we're working on I got working with some lawyers and we're working to get her out of there. So
That just shows how dirty they are, man.
oh yeah, like if it's all about money and if you legal representation in law language. So if you don't have any money, no legal representation, and don't have any idea of the law language where you at, it's gonna be like lights out for you, and they could do anything to you if they want to. So that's why, you got people like Meek Mills, Jay-Z, and them, they doing the reform stuff. And then I believe this year, I believe a lot of that stuff going to be turned around, with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden in the chair. Like, not to get political, but I think, so far, I just seem like it's just going to be a great turnaround. I think this year it's going to be a great year. Just people going to prosper again, and our businesses going to boom again. It's always
well, we shall see. I'm not going. I'm not going to put a whole lot of faith in it just yet, because things a lot of times when you start to believe in that, something happens to switch it up. So I
right.
just want to, make sure that they are about being right and doing right for us. And I, for one, know that they don't want to talk about it too much, but we are owed reparations in this country.
Right. For a lot of different things too, like, for a lot of different things, like.
It's not, yeah. You don't even have to go just all the way back to slavery, which really wasn't that long ago that it quote unquote so-called ended. Because it really hasn't ended all the way.
Right, but you can even go even as close as to the 80s and the 70s. Like, man, they just continue to just throw sand in the suit for decades. So like they just don't owe us reparation for slavery. They owe us reparation for the gangs that they created. They owe us reparation for all of the people that lost their lives to drugs, and from them bringing drugs into the country and flushing our communities with drugs, and create, the white people was the first gangs in America. People don't know, was white people. And black people had to develop a gang to keep the white people off of. I don't got no problem against the white people. I love y'all too, but this is just history and this is facts. In Los Angeles, the white people were the first gangs.
Well, look, I don't apologize for nothing. I'm black first. Period. It is what it is. And that don't mean that I'm hating anybody. I just put out people first. I'm not apologizing for that. I mean, there was this exchange on that show called The Talk a couple of days ago with Cheryl Underwood, if you're familiar with her, the comedian, and this woman, Sharon Osbourne. Basically, the guy, Piers Morgan, who was a host of Good Morning Britain or something or whatever, he was being accused of being racist because of some comments he made about the Meghan Markle situation, where she was just recently interviewed by Oprah. And she brought out that this quote unquote so-called royal family were racist, which nobody is surprised by, because I know the history and I know how they got their riches. They got their riches through slaughtering, killing our people and stealing from our people. That's how those so-called royals in Britain got all the wealth that they do, because they stole from our people. So I absolutely have no respect for those so-called royals. We are the real royals. That's what I have to say about that.
But that's a proven fact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we we're the real royals. Like, to be honest, so like, anything else is an emulation of the original, in which we are. We're the originals.
Right, and so on that show, Sharon Osbourne was just asked a question because she's good friends with this guy, Piers Morgan, and she got really defensive and got disrespectful towards Cheryl Underwood. And then she said to her, and don't try to cry. Don't try to cry neither. If anybody should be crying, it should be me. That's what she said about herself. Like, totally dismissing Cheryl Underwood and acting as though, when she says don't try to cry, when she puts the word try in there, that's like suggesting that she's known for supposedly faking tears, or trying to say that her tears are not valid as a black person. So she was just totally disrespectful to her. And even after she disrespected Cheryl Underwood was still tiptoeing around her feelings, tiptoeing around this white woman's feelings. I have no time for that. I'm not tiptoeing around the white folks' feelings, especially when they're being disrespectful to our people. You
Right.
know, I'm not doing that at all. So we have to be about standing up for us.
Right.
Definitely. And I'm definitely sending positive energy to your mother, um, and want her to get out and be free. And cousin Patricia's been commenting. She said free women, and there was another comment that she made. I guess she's still in here. Is that you still in here, Patricia? Cousin Patricia. It's a couple of people in here right now. Um, that he's speaking the truth. But yeah, um, definitely. So
Yeah, yeah, and, just chiming back in on that real quick before I get off it. The gangs in Chicago, for every murder, for every kid that been killed in Chicago,
right.
they owe us reparation for that. The reason
Yeah.
why is because when you go back and you look in the gang history, the FBI, they're the ones that turned black people against each other. They're the ones that created the Bloods and the Crips. Even though they didn't create them literally, but they the ones that, because of them and because of, the bloodshed between the Bloods and the Crips and the different gangs, they had names before that, was created by the feds because, they was, the black people together was becoming too powerful in the Los Angeles area. So they had to figure out a way to separate things. So they, if you go do the YouTube search and all that, you can get the history on it because it's a long story.
Yeah.
But the feds, they're the reason for all of the gang violence in America, the black on black
Oh yeah.
violence. They're the ones that, because they don't want the crack cocaine, the crack era. And then what they did, they brought crack into the communities, and then they took it away purposely. And then we went crazy and started killing one another because we didn't have the money that so they did everything systematically. They did it intelligently. The feds, they put poison into our communities. So they owe us reparation for the kid that got killed yesterday in Chicago and the shootout that's gonna happen today in Chicago. This is what they need to do. And they need to should have took trillions of them dollars and millions of those dollars and put it into redevelopment programs to go down into these communities that they poison, to redevelop those communities and those people that they poison.
Right.
Counselors, the outpatients, the job assistance programs, rehabilitation for all the ones that come out of jail. They should have been pumping millions of dollars into rehabilitating the people they messed up.
Well, yeah, I know they planted drugs in our neighborhoods, and then they turned around and declared a war on drugs so they could then, so they could then throw black people in jail.
Right.
So they're very calculating and strategic with what they do. Everything they do is strategic. They don't do anything haphazardly. It's all planned out. And they target us. And also, I feel as though every black person that has been targeted and has experienced police brutality should also get reparations for that, because that shit, excuse my language, is very traumatic. Because when that white cop put his nasty pale hands around my throat and threatened to make me have, in his words, a effing seizure. Well, he said the word. I'm trying not to cuss because cousin Patricia on me right now. But unless she wouldn't mind, because I'll say the word if she don't mind. But he said, because at the time when this happened, I wasn't doing anything wrong. Basically, I was just going to pick up some food that I ordered from a carryout, and there were like 5 other brothers there. I knew a couple of them, and he claimed that they were loitering, that they had been out there for a long time outside the carryout. I had just got there myself. So, because he claimed he drove around there several times that night, and they were out there for a long period of time. But I had just gotten there, but he didn't care. He didn't care that I was innocent about anything. And since I didn't think he was talking to me because he claimed he drove around there several times that night, I walked away and went into the carryout. And he came in behind me and told me to come back outside. And when I said, officer, you said you drove around here several times tonight, and that they were sitting out here, even though they weren't bothering anybody, they were just sitting there talking on the bus stop. But I said, I just got here, so you didn't see me. And he said, either you can go the easy way or the hard way. He said it a couple of times when I was trying to talk to him. Either you can go the easy way or the hard way. And I went outside with him and I told him that I was on seizure medication at the time, which I was, because I suffered a brain injury as a child. And at this time in the beginning of my adulthood, my early adulthood, I was on seizure medication. And I told him that I was on seizure medication and I didn't have my medicine with me. And that's when he took his nasty pale white hands and grabbed me around my throat, forcefully and violently, and told me he would make me have an effing seizure if I didn't do what he said, what he said. So I was traumatized by that, because I had to had these handcuffs on me. I had to go to jail, be fingerprinted, and go through the humiliation of they make you drop your pants and all this other kind of stuff, and other stuff that I had to go through, when I didn't do anything wrong. And I was traumatized by that for a long time. Like when I would try to go to sleep, I would wake up, I would go to sleep and I would see those hands going around my throat. And I tried to pursue a case against him, but of course they gave me the runaround. They gave me the runaround, and so he would get off with that, get away with that.
Right.
So we're old. A lot of us are old reparations, and for our people, we're old reparations. I mean, the European Jews, they got reparations from this country, and their Holocaust didn't even happen here. Their Holocaust happened in Germany, yet they got reparations.
Right.
Ours happened here, and we have not gotten reparations yet, and we deserve reparations more than anybody else, definitely. But I'm gonna, unless you want to say anything else about your mother's situation, we can definitely go back to talking about something lighter. I know this is a heavy topic, and some people do shy away from the heavy stuff, of course.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. I actually got a studio session I got to get ready to go off into.
Okay. Well, you have time to play a little snippet of your new single that you just did a video for. And when will the video be released?
The video will be released, I say give me about 2 weeks, about another week and a half, because they've been working on it. So, and it's called Searching for Love. YouTube, Searching for Love. Yeah, because I got so much stuff. Yeah, it's called Searching for Love. YouTube, Searching for Love.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, Cousin Patricia.
Yeah, thank you for being there, Cousin Patricia, Big Cousin Patricia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while I'm finding it and everything, yeah, if anybody, that's checking out this interview, my website is Greg R&B.
Yeah. And you're on all the streaming platforms, Spotify.
Yeah, I'm on all the streaming platforms, Spotify.
And, yeah.
iTunes, probably wherever you listen to music at, you can go and check out the song. But I'm gonna play a little bit of
just a little snippet of it so the people hear. Can you hear that, Cousin Patricia? You hear that, Cousin Patricia?
I'll probably have to put it in my other speaker.
Cool.
Because, you
can't really hear it. Yeah.
Music over the.
Cousin Patricia says she can't hear it clearly.
gonna be able to. Hold on, you here right here. Hey man, I know what you've been searching for. But guess what?
You hear it now? That's better. It's like going. It's like going in and out a little bit. So,
Check me out online, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I think everybody.
Yeah, you in a bad area again. Like your face just totally disappeared. So,
Oh my God, man, that's terrible. So yeah, everybody, just check me out on YouTube, Greg R&B, and
yeah.
anywhere where you can stream music, listen to my new album, you know. And it was a blessing to be on the show, the C Note, and I
Yeah.
definitely be back soon.
It was definitely great having you here, my cousin, my blood.
Family.
And as you mentioned earlier, there are several people. Yeah, it did get better. Thank you, cousin Patricia, for being here the whole time with us. Yeah, but as you mentioned, there are several people in the family that's in the arts and stuff like that. So maybe we should get together and do a family project at some point.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
All of us should get together because it's quite a few of us.
Oh
Definitely.
man, a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cuz man, love you, man, and
I love you
I'm
too.
looking forward to the next show.
All right, cuz. I love you too. All right. Love you, cousin Patricia, and
All right,
whoever else
cuz.
is in here. All right. Peace. Hey, y'all. Thank you all for watching. My next episode will be on Tuesday of next week, March the 16th, and I will be interviewing the very talented actor, Mr. Roger Tyler, who is also going to be in my next film project, We Brothers. So I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Stay blessed. Love your family. Bye.